So I was just like, okay, cool. He thinks I'm Steve Allen's son. Yeah. I always look like somebody. People think I look like De Niro. I get that. Yeah.
You know what, people, they think that I'm Linda Smith at Caroline's.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I get so many interviews because they think that
Oh,
I'm.
yeah, yeah. Then they find out you're not. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
I
mucho
had
funny. Oh,
I had it out with her because she told me I couldn't use the name Linda Smith. And like, who was on the planet first, you or me? Let's duke this out.
yeah.
Hey, you
Let's
guys,
do the math.
hi.
Right.
It's Comic Spot interview number, oh, I don't know, 1102 or 3, 1103. But that
Right.
doesn't mean that this guest isn't number one. He's number one. Look
Okay.
at him. He's the hilarious Rick Allen. Say hi, Rick.
Let me clap for myself there. Hey.
Let me
All right.
read you
And here's Ricky.
Ricky, I want to read a little of the interview I found on your website. Let me just say it. And you
All
hold
right.
up your hand when you want me to stop.
You can just whatever. Go ahead. Go.
Rick Allen is a national touring comedian, and he's been doing it for over 15 years, you guys, probably 20 by now. Rick Allen has been a contributing writer for the late night with David Letterman show. Do you understand what that means, you guys? A contributing writer for the late night with David Letterman show. That's amazing. He wrote in 10 things you don't want to hear from your accountant on tax day on April 15th, 2004. Rika Allen has also been a guest on the morning show radio station 98 Rock in Baltimore. Wow, I wish I could have done that. And has also appeared on Danny Bonaducci's radio show in New York City. Oh my
He
gosh.
did.
Rick
Did.
has performed his clever and hilarious brand of comedy, yes, it is, throughout the country, including performances in Borgata, in Atlantic City, Mohegan Sun, and Connecticut, a club favorite. And I got to perform with them. And I know that's true. Rick's comedy style has been compared to the likes of comedy legends John Rickles and Rodney Dangerfield. That's a huge compliment, and he deserves it. So let's get to know Rick Allen right now. I stopped reading your bio myself. Hey, Rick, hi.
Hey, hey, how you doing? Hey, come on, come on. Hey, come on. All right, hey, all right, good. Hey, come on. Talk to me.
I
Yeah.
think you should get a Rick Allen bobblehead.
Rick Allen bobblehead. Yeah. Hey, I'm telling we were onto something here. Maybe
Yeah,
that could work. I need to sell more stuff. The
yeah.
t-shirts I'm selling. I'm looking for a new t-shirt, a bobblehead. Yeah. I don't think I'm quite there yet on the popularity thing with the bobblehead, but I'll consider that
You
when
know,
I
they
get
need
where
to
I
bring
gotta
the
go.
price of 3D printing down a little bit. It's overrated.
Yeah, everything's high. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's. So what else
What's
you want to
good?
know?
I want to know. Tell me about your early childhood in your family that made you who you are. What's all the mishuggah stuff you grew up around? Everybody's got baggage. I want to hear yours.
Wow, this is going to be like a psychology freaking
No,
thing here.
just tell me
Uh,
tell me who little Rick Allen.
okay, so I was a little kid, the life of the life of the party, the family, everybody, I would be funny. One time in Thanksgiving in Long Island, it was Thanksgiving, and I was about maybe 7 or 8, and I auctioned off the last piece of turkey, and that was kind of funny. And I remember doing like commercials when I was like maybe 5 years old. I would imitate these commercials, and my family would watch me do that, and um, so I was always a performer. When I was in sixth grade, I was the star of this play. And my father told me, he said, you had the audience in the palm of your hand. So I had a good you know like like this, like some people do comedy and they really shouldn't be doing comedy. Like I feel like I'm somebody who should be doing comedy. Like, you know, I'm a creative guy and so it's hard to talk about yourself, you know what I mean, and not be you know, I'm trying to be more, more chill, you know what I mean? But this you
Yeah,
asked me the question, so but
yeah.
I did have a little bit of a rough childhood. I had a brother who was jealous of me, and I had a hard time with my older brother, 4 years older than me. And I don't really want to throw anybody under the bus, but that is what happened to me. Yeah.
I get it. I get it a lot. I had a twin brother, and he always thought that he was the one that should be funny, but he now admits that I'm funnier than him, but he's smarter.
Oh, he's smarter. Okay. Well, he was smart enough to figure that out at least, right?
Yeah. He kept
All right.
trying to be what I am. He kept trying to be funny, but he's smart. He's not funny. I mean, he
Right.
sends me
Yeah,
jokes.
you got to play the hand you're dealt. You know what I mean in life, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
So you grew up, and so you had just one brother, Rick?
Yeah, I have an older brother and an older sister. I'm the baby. Yeah. Right.
And
My
so,
sister lives
okay,
in my sister lives in Florida. My brother lives in the city.
wow. So what did they become in their lives?
Oh, my sister's a dietitian. She
Nice.
lives in Florida. She's married. And my brother was a recruiter for business schools. Like he kind of did that for a long time. And he had a little bit of health problems, so he's kind of doesn't work as much now. And I am in pretty good relationship with both my siblings. I even call my sister to run jokes by her sometimes, And I told her a good one this morning, and she didn't like it. And I think she's wrong because it made my wife laugh, and my wife never laughs at any of my jokes. She's Spanish, my wife. It's painful. I have these jokes. I write these jokes, and I have nobody to share them. And my wife is there, and I want to share them, but she's from another culture. She just doesn't. She just looks at me and says, "It's no funny for me." She says like that. It's no
Oh.
funny for me. I want to make this into a bit. Yeah, it's no funny for me.
And then at the end, you could do a call back and point to someone in the audience and say, "This has been no funny for you."
Yeah, it's no funny for you too, right? Yeah, I sound like an Asian person now. In any event, yes. All right. So what's next?
So you grew up in Long Island, New York.
No, in Queens, in Forest Hills.
Oh, Forest Hills. That's where
Ray
I stayed.
Romano, Ray Romano, the Ramones, uh, Simon and Garfunkel, like that.
Is that close to Elmhurst?
Not far, no, not far. A couple train stops, yeah.
Yeah,
Who do you
because
know from Elmhurst?
huh?
Who do you know from Elmhurst?
Helene Witt. She's my
Oh,
best friend, and I hang out with her. And when
okay.
get to stay with her.
Okay, cool. It's good to have friends, right?
Yeah, it's so good to have friends. So, so you grew up in Forest Hills. I love that train stop, and it's beautiful there. You should go, everybody. So, tell me about grade school and high school. You with your friends growing up. How did your comedy or your character, your personality develop? Who loved you? Who supported you? Who did anybody think you were going to be a comedian on the
Did
Late
anybody
Show?
what? Did
Did
anybody
anybody
what?
think you were going to be a comedian?
No, I had one teacher tell me, and I never forgot this. I always remember she put it in my book. She wrote it. She wrote when I graduated elementary school in sixth grade. Now they graduate in fifth, but in sixth grade, she wrote in my book, and I never forget this. I'm like kind of proud of this. She put to the boy who should achieve a great deal, and then she said, "Meet your challenge," and then she put her name. Yeah. So she
Wow.
she thought like, she saw big things in me. This team was my fifth grade teacher. Yeah. I never forgot that she sent me that. I was like, wow, like this lady really sees something in me. And
That's so
I never forgot it. I going through school, I was a class clown. and everything like that. But I ran into problems, and I had some major league substance abuse problems through the years. You know, like many people do in the entertainment business. Some people don't have any problem; they get famous, and then they really have bad. You know, like Charlie Sheen. I don't know if he had problems before, but there's a lot of people like that. You know, I got mine out of the way. You know what I mean? Like I'm, you know, I've been clean a good while now. I'm married like 22 years, and I have two kids in college, and I work really hard on myself and everything. But I did have a major a problem there, and so I'd love to tell you like a chronological story how I grew up, and then I went to high school, but it's all like a disheveled like when you had a life like I had. I mean, we don't have enough time. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty like if I ever, you know, not if like, as I move up the ladder here, like, I'm going to be a great story. I'm going to be a really good story, And I don't know if I really want to share all this stuff, I mean, but
Yeah.
somebody's going to dig into my past and find out this stuff anyway. But, you know,
Well, let's
it
move
ain't
on
pretty.
then. You're making me laugh by what you're not telling me. I think that's
All
a
right.
better story than telling me.
Oh yeah. If I told you it wouldn't be comedy anymore, it would be drama. It would be,
Absolutely. I
be
get it.
something else. Yeah. So,
So you
but I'm
went
happy to
from,
talk about the comedy. Go ahead.
I like that you admit you had a substance abuse because I think a lot of comedians nowadays have no substance and that's abusive.
Uh, okay. All right. I like that.
It
Yeah, no
has legs.
substance.
You can use it
All right.
better than
Yeah.
that last comedian who had no substance.
All right. Yeah. I'm
That's a danger.
speechless. All right.
My comedy has legs, and by the way, ma'am, so do you.
By the way, everybody who I say, if I mention you or when I show them my 12-minute tape from the show that you were at, because that tape turned out to be a sending tape. Like I'm getting all kinds of work from that tape. Yeah. But uh when they see the tape, they mention, "Oh, Linda, I love her." Like I probably like it's like a bunch of people. I'd say like 3 to 5 people said. I'll
Wow.
just mention one person. I'll mention one person, Tom Carter. He said, "Oh, Linda, I love her." So
He said
everybody
that?
knows you. Everybody knows you. How did
Tom
that happen?
Carter said that?
I swear to God,
Oh,
he did.
let's stop the interview now. I have to
Because
go
I
take
showed
a
him my
cold
tape.
shower.
Because I showed him my tape because I wanted to know his opinion, and he gave me a very good review and everything. But he mentioned you. He mentioned you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know he even gave a rip about me. I just adore him.
Okay. Well, he's married, but it's a love affair you got going on with him there.
Hey, I'm a boomer. I know how to break shit up. Not talking
Okay.
dishes and furniture. I'm talking
All
relationships.
right. Okay. If you
I'm
say so,
kidding.
kiddo.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
mess with her.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, somehow I ended up with a high school diploma and a 2 year, almost 2 year degree in college. And I was a salesman. Do you want me to keep going here?
Yeah.
I was a salesman in my career. I was a salesman for many, many years. And I had a friend in my neighborhood who was doing comedy. And this was in the early 90s. And he was a funny guy. He was a tall, bald guy. He made a lot of faces. He did faces in his act. It was very funny. When he started out, he was terrible, like everybody. And everybody thought this guy was, but he got better. And then he used to bring me on his show. His name is Michael Mandel. He passed away. Michael Mandel. Not no relation to Howie, but his name is he's from Forest Hills, and he would bring me on his shows and he would get me 5 minutes and he was like, "Rick, they really liked you." He was very encouraging and he would get me time. And so I do the same thing now. I help new comics, with it. But anyway, so I'm getting off the track here. Anyway, so
No, it's
when I started
great.
so I started doing open mics in the Boston Comedy Club, and I wasn't very good. I mean, nobody's good in the beginning. I mean, but I see comics these days, they're much better than we were. Like when I was, I don't say we, I'll just say me. They were better, way better than me. I was terrible. I mean, you could see that I was a joke writer, like by the jokes, they were clever and stuff like that. But I was like announcing the jokes, like an announcer. You know how you do that when you're new, you know? You want to hear one of my old jokes? I would say, so Zsa Zsa Gabor has admitted to making love to two men at the same time. Yeah. What do we call that? Menage a Zsa? Like that was the kind of joke I did when I was new. Yeah. But
I
I was
like
an
how you're
announcer.
doing. I like how you're doing the announcing.
Yeah, it was well, if you're an announcer, you need the microphones. I had to do the
Yeah.
air mic, the air mic. Yeah. Anyway,
Now,
so just to speed this up, so then I'm gonna go through my comedy career. So then through the early 2000s, I was doing that, and that's when I was in and out of comedy because I couldn't get my life together. I would do comedy for a couple of years, then you know, but whenever I would get partially get my life together, I would go back and do comedy, and I would tell everyone I'm a comedian, and you know, and I really was just an open mic. But when I moved to Florida in 2006, 2005, I moved down to Florida because my life was really not good here. So we moved down. I moved down with my family. My kids were very young, and uh, I cleaned up my life, and I started doing more, and I got more serious, and I made it very quickly. There was all of us guys in Florida were like, we were all either hosts or open micers. So I was in the category with them. So I was the first one, like to make it to feature, and they hated me. They hated me, because they all wanted to get feature. You know what I mean? So I made it to feature. I featured with Thea Vidal. She's from Houston. Do you know who she? I think Roger Paul. She was on Roger Paul's roster. I don't know if I
yeah,
think
I
she
know the
still is.
name.
She's from Houston. She had her own TV show for one season, and I featured with her, and I did pretty good. It was the first time, so I was in. So then I was featuring for him. But then I moved back to New York, and I was out of comedy for like 7 years. I made a lot of really dumb mistakes. I
Uh-huh.
got into a fight with a comedy club owner. I mean, I did some really, and I'm not like a crazy loose cannon guy. People think that,
Wow.
this guy that I had a fight with, people who know me are going to know who I'm talking about. This guy, he's not in the business anymore, So it wasn't, you know, he, I don't want to talk about it, be honest with you, but probably shouldn't even bring this up, but I don't care because I'm a different person now, and I conduct myself. I'm a pro. And I still make mistakes, but I don't make the dumb ones, anymore. So anyway, so I was out of the business for 7 years, and I came back in 2020 during the pandemic. I just both my parents had passed away like a year before that.
Sorry.
Um, yeah, and it was 5 months apart, and it just dawned on me that like you know this is it, like you're either going to get your life together, so, and I always knew I believe in myself, like I have this comedy thing, like I'm a good writer, and I feel like I'm good, I got some work to do, I got to get better, but I always knew like I got something going in this, but I couldn't get my life together long enough to do us, because it takes a sustained effort in comedy for these for the, anybody who's, this is something I was talking with my friend this morning, is that anybody who's made it as an entertainer, some people get a break, and they get the easy way, but most people, they work really hard to get where they got to go, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
came back and I started taking lessons with Eddie Brill, Eddie from the David Letterman show. He's my friend, and I wasn't cheap. I paid this guy, and I sat in his couch, and we went over stuff, and I got better very, very quickly with him. And he taught me a lot of things. He taught me, even when you go into the crowd to do the crowd work. He told me how to ask the right questions. I know how to set up the joke properly now. Like I know, like the what you set up in the setup has to match the payoff. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. And I've been able to put 3, 4 years, like almost 4 years now together of sustained effort, And in 4 years, like, I can't believe all the things I've been doing. I mean, it's so I'm just excited because I feel like, like I'm really serious about this now. And, you know,
I
and,
got to tell you guys watching, if anybody watches this, the thing about you is that I know I'm talking to a star. You have that, not the X Factor star quality bull crap that they throw out. You have the meat and potatoes of the star. You got the work ethic, you got the jokes, you got the delivery, you got you're a comic off stage, you're encouraging others. Like you're a star.
yeah, it's a tough business. It's like people have just, there's a lot of egos. And it's just, I just keep running up against that. But I just put my head down and I listen to my friend. I have a good friend who helps me. He stayed with comedy all these years, and he likes me and he kind of helps me, and he got me in a few places, and he tells me, I listen to the advice. The advice I got from Eddie Brill, the best advice he gave me was work on your act. Work on your act. Always be working on, like, put your effort into your act, because that's what's going to get you somewhere. And that message that he told me, it means that it doesn't matter all this other crap. If you get good, if you get really good, like, good things are going to happen, as long as you're not a complete idiot, off stage. And I definitely, I still got a little work to do on that, but anyway. But so that was him, and my other friend, my friend, the one who's helping me, his name is Davin. He's a funny guy, Davin Rosenblatt. We became friends. We were on a road gig, and we both like the Jets, and we're both football guys. Anyway, so he told me to keep the focus on yourself, because in the comedy business, you run up, oh, this guy pissed me off, and this guy didn't book me, and this guy, you know what I mean? And you run up against all of that crap. And it's just really, like, doesn't matter. Just write another good joke. Like, I always tell my wife and I tell other comics, I am the happiest guy when I'm writing jokes. When I'm writing these, and when you come up with a good one and you're like, that's a good one, that's gonna work. And the more experience you have in comedy, this is what I told a new comic, and I hope I'm not talking too much here, but uh, is that when you get more experience in comedy, like, you never really know what's going to work. You know what I mean? As an experienced, you have a better idea of what's going to work. Like, you'll be like, yeah, and but what you really have a better idea is what's not going to work. You'll be like, no, that's not going to work. When you're a new comic, you don't know anything. You're like, this might work. This might work. I have a much better idea, and um, so now, just up to date now. I don't want to talk about this opportunity that I got, this opportunity, and if it happens, I'm happy to tell you. But I'm this close to something pretty good, and it's a lot of money anyway. And I'm gonna be trying. This one I can tell you about. I'm going to film a reality show in the spring, but it's going to be just a trailer. I'm just going to do the trailer, but the reason I've been talking about it for a year and I didn't do, but the reason I decided is that I had a lady in my Uber. I drive Uber, because it's a good job as a comedian. And I told her, this lady works with Martin Scorsese. Like, I meet all kinds of people in my Uber. Like, you wouldn't believe the people I met. But she said to me, she goes, somebody's going to steal that. She goes, you better just film the trailer. I'm like, you know what? This lady's right. You know, and so I decided, I like, it's not that much money. It's like, so I could tell you a little about it. It's called Drive You Crazy. I'm a comedian and I drive Uber and people get in, and crazy stuff.
I love that.
Anyway,
That
anyway,
that
so
was great advice.
so that's where I'm at right now. And I'm working hard. I wrote a really good joke yesterday, and I think it's good, you know, and I wish everybody the best. And I mean, I wish the comedy business, like, people were, there weren't these egos and everybody looking at what everybody else is doing, because of social media that we live in this time now. that, and sometimes it happens to me. I'm like, oh, look what this fucking guy's, I'm sorry for cursing. Look where this guy is working, like I want to work there. How did he, who books that? You start getting in that, all that. And social media does that. It really does.
It
But the
does.
truth is, that goes back to just work on your act. You know what I mean? Like, if people spend less time on social media and decided, that we're going to spend more time working on themselves and working on their act, because that's what I'm doing, you know, things might be better.
I agree. I have one thing to say. I'm coming back in April for most of the whole month. So you and we got to hit up Evan and get on to his show again at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. I won't do it if you're not the headliner.
Okay, well, tell him that. Um, I, I, I don't know what my schedule will be, but at this point, April looks okay, but that could change very quickly. But
I
I
hope
would,
you're too busy and too rich to deal with it.
yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I don't sit here. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it. People ask me, they go, what's your goals in comedy? I tell them, I'm going to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I don't know. I just want to be as good as I can be. I want to be the best I can be, and I want to go as far as I'm supposed to go. And I don't want to stop getting in my own way and just, you know, that's my attitude,
Yes.
and I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to give a big speech. I don't like doing that because I feel like he who boasts about what he will do succeeds in nothing. That's what I believe. I really believe that. So I don't
I
want to sit here, but it's all real. Everything I'm telling you is true, and I mean every word that comes out of my
I
mouth.
when I tell somebody they're a star, I mean
Yeah,
it. You are a
that's
star.
really nice of you. Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, and you're not the fluffer nutter kind. You can bring it.
I can bring it.
You're not a
I
TikTok
don't know
dancer.
what it is, but I can bring.
You're not a TikTok dancer. You're not the guy that fills the club because some other crap. If you fill a club, you're gonna fill it because you bring it with comedy.
Right. And that's, yeah. So one more thing, I was taught by this guy, man, the guy who taught me Mandel, the guy who was a comedian. He always told me, and because I remember you get something from everyone that you meet, and he always told me, he said, don't settle for a good joke. He goes, go for a great one. Don't be happy with just a good joke, And a lot of other people in the business, sometimes you're working and you're working with other comics and more experienced comic, and you do a joke and they go, and they pull you over and they go, hey, you should try it this way. And then you realize, like, oh my God, there's a better joke there. There's, sometimes you can take the laugh from here and take it all the way up to here. You know what I mean? And that's what you gotta, hold yourself to a high standard to get the good laugh. You know what I mean? And I think too many times people just, oh, I got to laugh. That was good. Like, who wants to be average? I don't want to be average. Average sucks. Fuck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There's nothing worse than getting a mediocre laugh.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, me too. You've been a doll to come on. Where do you want people to follow you? And where are you going to be performing, Rick Allen?
Okay, so I'll be performing. I'll answer your second question first. I'll be performing next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend in Maryland. This is Give a Hoot Comedy Club. It's in a Mexican. It's in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I'm trying to pick up a New Year's Eve in DC or somewhere, but I'm still open New Year's Eve. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'll be there. It's the 29th and 30th. It's Give a Hoot Comedy Club. I'm headlining there. If you're in Maryland area, South Maryland area, well, it's just going to be a good show. I promise. I promise. I'm bringing my A game down there. I'm ready. I'm ready. And then you can follow me on Instagram. It's Funny Guy 20. You can go to my website. It's rickallencomedy.com. Okay. And you could follow me around, but don't stalk me.
Yeah, and on your website, you got some video clips.
I'm not afraid to put video up. Yeah, a lot of people, they'll put like 20 seconds. It's like I put a lot of video. I don't care. You know, maybe I'm wrong. You know,
No,
but
I
whatever.
think, you know what? I get tired of everybody. If they have an opinion, everybody else must have that same opinion. I think,
Right. It's snobbery. I don't like that. Yeah.
yeah.
But you do have to be a bit humble, and I could learn to be more, whatever. I'm working. I'm a work in progress. Jay London. He's in California. You know him. He used
No.
to say in his act, "Pardon my appearance. I'm under renovation." Because he wasn't Tom Cruise. Let's just say that. But anyway, but that's everybody. Everybody's pardon my appearance. Everybody's got stuff to work on. Where nobody's perfect here. So
Yes.
so nice of you to have me on. This was more fun than I expected. This was good.
Thank you. I look forward to being on a stage again with you sometime when I deserve it. Bye.